Hello and welcome to our Dynamics GP User Group 2023. My name is Dave Washabaugh, and today I'll be looking at AP integrations using the Power Platform, which include Power Apps, Power Automate, and the AI Builder. So we'll be taking a look at the AI Builder and showing you how to basically train the AI in what different fields mean within your documents as they're uploaded, and how to extract that information from that. And then we'll take a look at the Power App that I've created and where we've used the AI model and taking that information that it's extracting and using it to import into GP. And now we'll be using Power Automate. It's kind of the behind the scenes tool that basically takes that information from the Power App and imports it into GP. Now I'll show you how it's done from a desktop as well as a phone. And then saving the invoice to SharePoint. So right now I'm having a little bit of a permissions issue with that, but eventually I'll have that working. But we'll take a look now at our Power. Sorry. Take a look at my AI models. Well, sometimes it doesn't like it from there. Let's take it from here. Take a look at our AI models. I have what's called a form processing demo. And the form processing demo here is that we bring in 5 copies of 5 invoices from a particular vendor and train it where to pull the information that we're going to extract. So we're going to extract the vendor, the invoice number, the date, the amount, and the terms, and we'll be using those in our Power App as well as the flow from Power Automate. So this does take a little bit of time to train it. I mean, if you have a lot of vendors, a lot of invoices that you need to scan in and train, like I said, it could take a little bit of time, but well worth the effort. So let's take a look now at our Power App itself. So this is where I built the Power App, and here's where we use the form processor. So we create different fields within the Power App, and then we use the submit button down here, which calls our flows from Power Automate. So I have an AI AP invoice flow that brings in the vendor ID, the invoice number, the amount, the invoice date, and the terms. And then we have our save to SharePoint, and that's where we bring in the same information to a list and and finally the actual image. Like I said, I'm having a little bit of a time bringing in the image right now due to some permissions, but we're working on figuring that out. So that is our app. That's how that app was built. And if we take a look at our flows, I have my AI AP flow, which, let me edit that, which basically starts in Power Apps, and then it executes a stored procedure in SQL in your GP database. And as you can see, we have that same information that we're pulling from the AI Builder and the Power App, and we're just basically telling it we're pulling this information right from our Power App. Okay, so that is our Power Automate our flow from Power Automate that we'll be using. I also have the one for saving it to SharePoint. And this basically takes the information again from Power Apps. It creates an item in your list in SharePoint, and then it adds an attachment. So those are the two flows that we will be using for our Power App. And I'm going to jump right then to our Power App from the desktop. And I'm going to go ahead and analyze. And I'm going to select an invoice. And now it's reading the invoice, looking for the information that we've trained it to look for. So it's found the vendor name here with a 99%. I think that says 99% accuracy, 97% on the invoice number, 98 on the date, and the terms, 99 and 100% on the amount. So it's brought those into my Power App, and I'm just going to give it a name of a batch, desktop, and then I'm going to go ahead and submit that. Now for our invoice, it's actually taking the default GL accounts from the vendor. I could add another field in here for your general ledger accounts so that you could import it to a different account if you wanted to. But for time's purposes, I just have it taking it from the default. So that's brought that into GP. And here's a GP, and I'm going to look for my AI desktop, and there it is. And there's my invoice amount, my invoice, if I take a look at that transaction. There's my advanced and our 11,000. And again, it took the distributions from the default distributions within the vendor. All right. So now I'm going to move to my phone. So bear with me for a minute. Okay. So just accessing the app from Power Apps, and same app looks exactly the same on my phone. I'm going to go ahead and click on Analyze there and take a picture of the invoice. And now it's reading what the image says, and we'll capture our information. So we have another advanced auto systems, office systems invoice, and we're going to call this a iPhone, and go ahead and submit. And still having issues with our security on SharePoint, but it has at least been entered into GP. Okay, so now we'll switch back to the phone, or sorry, my computer, so we can see that invoice. Okay, moving back to my laptop and back to GP. So my AI via the phone, let's search for that batch. Batches. And there's our AI phone. And our invoice from Advanced for 2550, invoice 55155. And again, our distributions coming from the vendor. So as I mentioned, having a little bit of an issue saving it to SharePoint, but hopefully that will be worked out in the near future. Again, it seems to be just a permissions things, and we just can't find the right permissions. So anyway, great integration tool from Power Apps, utilizing Power Automate and AI Builder. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you're interested in more about Power Apps and Power Automate, basically the Power Platform, please feel free to reach out and we can talk. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time.